AI search engines are the future. And in my personal opinion, Google Gemini is going to win the race purely because it's got access to the most data through traditional Google search, Google Docs, Gmail, etc. If you just think about it, Google's already got access as long as you're using the Google suite. It's literally got access to so much information about you, which I believe is going to make Gemini the best AI search engine out there because it's going to be able to personalize the results specific to you. And as such, if you care anything about showing up in search engines, knowing how to rank in Google Gemini is going to be so important when it comes to the next few years. And over the past couple of weeks, I've taken a deep dive into this area in order to understand how to consistently get my business to show up so you can do the same. So in this video, I'm going to show you a cheat code when it comes to knowing how to rank in Google Gemini and also walk you through how to show up in general and local recommendations. And by the way, I am also building a tool that's going to allow brands to score, monitor, and boost their visibility in AI search engines. So head over to the first link in the description to check that out. But getting straight into it, what I'm going to do is walk you through what influences the recommendations on Gemini and AI search engines as a whole. I have done another video on breaking down how AI search engines work and giving away my free checklist. So I'll add that as a second link in the description. But just walking straight through to it, when you're learning how to rank in Gemini, you need to understand that there's ranking factors that go into the general recommendations that Gemini provides, and then also the local recommendations, which I'll go through in a second. But if you want to learn how to rank in Gemini, before I get to all of that, I'm going to show you a shortcut. And as you can see here, this is my business SEO space. We asked it who the best Squarespace SEO experts are, and we're position 1, and we're heavily ranked by Gemini, as you can see here. However, you don't even need the checklist that I'm going to show you. All you need to do to learn how to quickly rank in Gemini. So as you can see here, this is Gemini 1.5 Pro with deep research. This essentially gives you a research assistant. If you've got a specific term that you want to rank for, all you need to do is add that term into deep research. And what deep research is going to do, it's going to build a research action plan. So as you can see here, in order to find the best Squarespace SEO experts, it's going to find top experts in Squarespace SEO, probably by seeing which websites rank well on traditional Google search for Squarespace SEO expert. It's then going to find reviews and testimonials for these experts, find case studies or examples of their work, find their pricing and packaging, and availability for consultation. So if you wanted to rank for Squarespace SEO expert in Gemini, you need to, one, make sure that you're ranking well generally on Google. You need to make sure you've got reviews and testimonials on your website and other websites. You've got case studies clearly listed and given on your website, as well as also your pricing and packages, and then your availability. And you can do this for actually any niche. I'll show you another one. Let's say you wanted to rank for best running shoes. If it's Gemini specifically that you're focusing on, you come over to deep research, you type in what you want to rank for, and as you can see here, it's literally going to tell you how Gemini is going to find the best running shoes. So it's going to head to reliable sources like Running Shoes or like Runner's World or Running Shoes Guru. It's going to find the best running shoes for different types of feet and running styles, etc., etc. So it's actually very easy to know how to rank well in Gemini. Now, I'm going to walk you through the ranking factors in detail in a second, but I do really recommend you pause this video, head over to Gemini Deep Research, and actually do that search for yourself. Because from there, you'll actually be able to build an action plan so you can consistently rank in Gemini to make the most of this wave that is inevitably coming. So coming back to what influences recommendations, I'm going to start off with general to begin with. As you can see, this actually applies to Gemini, Perplexity, ChatGPT, but the most important thing that you need to be looking to get found in are list mentions. The reason why you want to be featured in list mentions is because ultimately what these AI search engines do is they provide recommendations through 3 different ways. First of all, they have an existing index of information that it's already been trained on. Second of all, it'll pull data from live data sources like search engine rankings. And then thirdly, it'll pull information from third-party data sources. So for example, in Gemini's case, in the future, I would imagine it's going to be pulling from Google Docs, Gmail, all that sort of stuff. And list mentions are really important for the first and second thing that I mentioned, because these list mentions, these best of in your specific industry, is what these AI search engines will pull from in its index to train that AI search engine on what the best is. On top of that, these list mentions typically rank pretty well on Google. So you've got that two-touch approach. If you're featured in those list mentions, not only are you more likely to be found within the index, but actually when it then goes and checks live search results, you'll also be found in the best of in whatever industry you're in to boost your chances of showing up. There's then also website authority, i.e., making sure that you have a strong domain authority, good topical authority, you rank well for different topics. Because as I showed you here, these AI search engines, and in particular Gemini, will do a quick Google search in order to get information. So if your website isn't ranking well, you're unlikely to be featured in those AI search results. Then there's brand search and mentions, and in particular mentions. A lot of people, when it comes to ranking AI search engines, are talking about digital PR, which is true because if you remember, these AI search engines pull information from that index. If your brand is recognizable in that index, then you're more likely to be identified and pulled through for what you want to show for. Then there's eating affiliations. You'll often see that these AI search engines are pulling from particular sites. For example, ChatGPT often pulls from Wikipedia. So if you can get featured in Wikipedia or authoritative sites, then you're more likely to be shown. Then there's online reviews, both on your website, but then also G2, Capterra, Google reviews, etc., which again was pretty clear when we looked at deep research because you can specifically see that it's looking for reviews and testimonials for these experts. Remember, these AI search engines themselves have no personal experience. So, of course, they're going to pull from other people that have got experience in order to know whether or not a brand is good. Then there's unique statistics and data. Just like with Google, Gemini and other AI search engines reward websites that have unique statistics and data because they want to make sure that they're featuring unique statistics and data in themselves. So having that can make sure you boost your chance of showing in the local recommendations. And then finally, personal experiences and or UGC. Because just like I mentioned earlier, these AI search engines, Gemini has no personal experience in anything. So it will actually look for people that are sharing personal experiences with a particular brand to tell whether something is good or not. So that's general recommendations. Now moving on over to local recommendations quickly. Now, this won't come as a surprise, but local business reviews for showing up in Gemini is the most important thing. Just like how it is for showing up for local SEO in Google Maps, it's not really a surprise that this is important. So make sure you're building in capturing Google business reviews if you want to rank in Google Gemini, which I believe you should. Then there's list mentions, so best X in Y location. So for example, if you're an SEO agency in London, you would want to make sure that you're showing in these top SEO agency London listicles. So these are important, again, because not only these are what these AI search engines refer to, but the information from these will also be stored in the index. So that information will be used to train the model, train the results. So it's extremely important that you get found in them. Then there's online reviews, not just with your GMB, but also G2, Capterra, Trustpilot, etc. Because again, these AI search engines have no personal experience. Then finally, there's website and GMB authority. And just again, want to double click on that website authority. Just because AI search engine optimization or generative engine optimization is, in my opinion, going to be the future, does not mean that traditional SEO is dead. You still need to make sure your website is ranking well on Google and other search engines such as Bing. You still need to make sure that you're putting out high quality content because believe it or not, Surfer SEO actually conducted a study and found that 52% of websites cited in AI overviews at the top of Google weren't found on page one of Google. And this is pretty similar with Gemini. You'll find that Gemini will actually pull from sources that often aren't ranking on page one of Google for the same search term that you type, which even more emphasizes that ranking in these AI search engines requires a more holistic approach. It requires you to analyze the competitors, user behavior, because ultimately SEO is changing and you need to make sure that you're staying ahead to capture this wave. And as I mentioned, I am building a tool that's going to allow you to score, monitor, and boost yourselves in AI search engines such as Gemini. So if you want to check that out, it'll be the first link in the description. So there you are, guys. That is how to rank in Google Gemini. As I mentioned, I have also recorded a full AI search engine optimization video. So I'll add that as the second link in the description. And of course, please comment if you've got any questions. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you want to learn more about AI search engine optimization, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.